So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining to the uniqueway.com webinar, and it's this part 11 series of study in New Zealand, which probably will be second last. We have a couple of more to come in after that. And we're starting our Australian series from first week of August, just to keep updated to everyone. Okay, so back to the business today. We have Victoria University Wellington today with us, which is supported by ICICI Bank, and then we have RBS Intellect, which is our agency partner. I'll introduce our speakers. We have Andrea McLeod from Victoria University of Wellington. Andrea, you want to give a bit of brief about yourself for a few seconds, a few minutes?
All right, kia ora, everyone, as we say in New Zealand, and haere mai, or welcome to the webinar today. So my name is Andrea McLeod. I work for Victoria University of Wellington. I am the Regional Director of Recruitment for South Asia, Middle East and Africa. So very exciting to see students from a very wide variety of countries from these regions joining in today. What that practically means is that I look after our students from this region. I help them choose programs. I help them with their enrollment process at the university. So I'm looking forward to giving you some information about New Zealand, about the university, about visas. And yes, always happy to answer questions and be of assistance in any way.
Great, thank you, Andrea. And we have Niklesh Kada from ICICI Bank. Niklesh, a bit of your brief. You're welcome to update everyone.
Yes, sure. Thank you so much, Bharat. First of all, I really thank Uniqueway team and Bharat as well for inviting us. And it's a wonderful thing to interact with all the students who are actually aspiring for the higher studies. So this is Niklesh. As you can see in my intro there, I'm currently working as a senior product manager for education loans of ICICI. And it's been almost 3 years. I'm currently working in this particular role where we are assisting students in getting all the financials required for their higher studies, basically. So in today's webinar, we are planning to just give a brief on how actually our loan works for very specific to New Zealand students who are actually, planning to go for their higher studies in New Zealand. So we'll cover the unsecured loans and, the process and all that stuff today. And of course, I'm really equally excited, like Bharat and Andrea. Of course, I'll take up the questions as well, whichever are relevant for your, financial support that is required. Thank you. Thank you so much, Bharat.
Thank you, Niklesh. Thank you for the brief intro. And last but not the least, Priyanka is joining from our agency partner, RBS Intellect. And Priyanka, a bit of brief about you will be great.
Thank you, Bharat. Hello, everyone. My name is Priyanka. I work with RBS Intellect as an international business manager. Along with that, I was a former senior immigration officer with Immigration New Zealand. Today, we have Victoria University of Wellington with us, who would be giving us brief information about them. And we also have ICICI Bank, who would be giving more information about the education loan. So guys, if you have any questions, we are expecting it to be an interactive session. So if you have any questions, please mention your questions in the Q&A box, and we would be answering them post the session. And along with that, we will also be mentioning our email address in case if you have any further questions in details, you all can definitely write to us and we can reply to that. So thank you, Bharat. Thank you,
Priyanka. So thank you, everyone, and welcome everyone on the Uniqueway webinar. I'll just give a brief about Uniqueway. Guys, just to a student, uniqueway.com is a study abroad search engine, which we try to give as much information for students to make a decision, kind of a good choice of destination or which program to choose in. At the same time, yes, there are options of applying for scholarships and other areas, which we can talk about later. It's a free website. It is not paid version. Nothing is there. You're welcome to put your registration there, and then we can normally send our weekly emails to you guys to tell what are the new coming up. Again, it's a search bar. You type any questions, anything. Please go on and do try it. It's a wonderful tool for students to go in. Normally, what we do and what we recommend when we are doing for a study abroad destination or anything, you search for a courses or which destination you want to go, compare what is right and what is good to go in. And again, you can also compare multiple courses in the same destination. And after that, prioritize which one you want to go in and then apply. We do have multiple partners who normally join us time to time. to support you with visa application or offer letter application. Thank you again for joining and listening. I'll leave it to Victoria now. Victoria, welcome to you, and please go ahead with your presentation.
Sure. Thank you, Bharat. I'm just going to share my screen for a moment.
Yeah.
Can you stop your screen sharing
Yeah.
first, and then it'll allow me to.
Yeah. Here you go.
All right. There we go. So I will just share screen.
While I'm and they're sharing, just to update everyone, guys, you are welcome to add your question on Q&A box. Anybody who's raising hand, we will talk about questions and everything. Please go ahead and put on your questions. Thank you. Thank you, Andrea.
So, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the presentation fairly brief. As a university, we have many programs, so I won't go in detail about all of them because I think it would be better to leave that for Q&A in the end, where you can ask about the specific programs that you're interested in, and I can then give more information in those areas. So I'm actually based in Mumbai, so very similar or same time zone to many of you logging in, which means it's very easy to get quick answers from the university when you want them. What I'm going to be talking about this morning is a little bit about the overall educational landscape in New Zealand, the types of institutions we have, what you should consider, why choose New Zealand as a study destination. And I'll be going through some information about the university. Finally, a little bit about working in New Zealand after your studies. Sorry. So we talk about why to choose New Zealand. So New Zealand regularly ranks very highly amongst all of those global indices, whether it's to do with being the happiest countries in the world, whether it's to do with being, you know, the most peaceful country in the world, gender equality. We are the #1 English-speaking country in the world for educating students for the future. Whichever of those global rankings you refer to, New Zealand is usually within the top 10 or higher. So this is a fantastic indicator both of the type of education that you receive, as well as the type of lifestyle that is available to our students there in the country. We have 8 universities in New Zealand. They are all ranked within the top 500 worldwide, and they are all government universities. There are also other types of institutions in the country. So polytechnics are also run by the government. They are more focused on technical and practical training in terms of the courses they offer. And then you also have private colleges. So private colleges may focus on different areas of education. You might have some that teach design courses, some that teach hospitality or culinary art courses. It depends on the college itself, what its focus is. I'll be focusing mainly on the university area of education today, but if you have questions related to polytechnics or related to a private college, we can also be answering them later on in the Q&A session. So now about our university. So we were founded in 1897. It's our 125th year anniversary this year, which is quite exciting. And we are ranked within the top 2% of universities worldwide, with around 18 subjects in the top 100. We're a comprehensive university, so we teach most subjects. We don't have a medical school, but pretty much most of everything else. Certain types of engineering alongside as well. So we've got 8 teaching faculties, as well as our faculty of graduate research that looks after our PhD students. We usually, looking at pre-COVID times, we had a student strength of about 22,000, of which 3,800 were international students, and they come from more than 100 countries across the world. So we do value our international students, and it's very welcoming, very safe, very supportive environment there at the university. We are also the #1 university in New Zealand for intensity of high quality research. So if you're thinking about either a PhD or a master's by research, that's a really important indicator to look for when choosing your institution. We are located in the capital city of New Zealand, Wellington. So many people are familiar with Auckland when they think of New Zealand. That's the largest city, but Wellington is actually the capital city. So some reasons to choose Wellington, apart from that, it has a very big IT sector, about 25% of the IT jobs in New Zealand. It was the #1 most livable city in the world, ranked in 2018 and 2019, still doing very well. called the coolest place to visit in New Zealand in Lonely Planet. So lots of exciting things to see and do there. It also has a very big creative sector. So for example, we have the film industry in New Zealand based in Wellington. A lot of Hollywood movies now come for their post-production and their VFX, and as well as their music composing to New Zealand, like the previous Avengers movies, the upcoming Avatar movies have all been done there. Big games design industry, fashion industry alongside. If you are a foodie, there's also more cafes per capita in Wellington than there are in New York City. So lots of choices there for great things to eat and drink. And as you can see from the pictures there in front of you, absolutely gorgeous on a sunny day, lovely spaces to hang out, great quality of life if you do like an outdoors lifestyle alongside. We are located very centrally within the city. We have 3 main campuses. So Kelburn, this one in the center here, that's where most of our subjects are taught. Pipatea, we have business, government and law. And over on the right side of the screen, which might be below where all the videos are, Te Aro is where we teach architecture and design. Wellington's a very compact city, very good, easy to get around. So you can actually walk between each campus about 20 minutes each way. Usually save quite well on transport costs if you're fit and willing to do a 20 to 30 minute walk to wherever you want to go. So bachelor's degrees. We have 15 bachelor's degrees covering a very wide range of areas and more than 100 majors between them to choose from. So if you are looking at bachelor's level study, we have pretty much something for everyone. They are usually 3 years in length. Some, like engineering, law and midwifery, are 4 years in length. Many of them are flexible in terms of being able to take majors from different degrees or take 2 degrees at the same time. Fantastic practical experience as well within the bachelor's degree. So very happy to speak to any students who, I know the CBSE students very recently received their results. So if there's any of you there today, congratulations on finally getting those results after a long wait. And I'm happy to discuss the entry requirements and any type of program you're interested in. I'm just going to go faculty by faculty, but as I said, I'm not going to go into detail into all the programs because there's too many of them. We would take up an hour just on my programs.
Well, I totally agree.
Yeah,
good one.
Barrett's done the training with me previously about the programs. He sat through that hour, so we won't do that for you. But you can browse through. I'll leave them all up for you know, maybe 10-15 seconds each. You can have a look at what they are. You can ask questions about specific ones if you want to afterwards. So first, and
to everyone, just to add that I'm adding Victoria's University's website on the chat box, and I've added a couple of other links so that you can browse them at the same time. Thank you, Andrew.
Yes. Yeah, so yeah, please do go find out more information. There's so much that you can read on our website about all of these programs, including the syllabus. So this is our Faculty of Engineering. You can see we've got some new programs as well, which are listed at the bottom. So please do check out those 2. Very excited about the upcoming Masters of Renewable Energy, which is starting in Feb 23 for the first time. That's just been approved. Our next faculty is the Faculty of Business and Government, one of my most popular faculties for international students. One of the specializations here is the professional programs that we run, which are aimed at working professionals who wish to upgrade their skills or change careers. So professional accounting leads to chartered accountancy accreditation, professional business analysis leads to a career as a business analyst. You don't need to have studied the same subjects previously. So do keep in mind, we have quite a few programs available that allow you to change careers. We also have quite a few programs at master's level that involve internships or practical industry projects alongside as well. Faculty of Law is also there, where we have the Master of Laws and the Masters of International Trade. Next faculty is Science. This does not include all the subjects we teach, because under the Masters of Science itself, there are so many different majors to choose from. The top section is Research Masters, where you'll need a research proposal and a supervisor. The bottom section is Coursework Masters, where you don't need the research proposal, you don't need the supervisor. They're usually between 1 and 1.5 years for length, and many of those do have internships included within them. Then humanities and social sciences, one of our most highly ranked areas, particularly within political science, international relations. So there's a lot of programs within that area that you can choose from. The Master of Communication is also a really great one for people from mass media, English literature, or journalism backgrounds. And new in 2022, for this one is Masters of Criminology as well. So I'll just highlight where we have some new programs coming up alongside. Now, Faculty of Architecture and Design Innovation, one of my favorite faculties, just because they genuinely come out with some very cool, very innovative work, which is always very exciting to hear. So for architects who would like to become registered in New Zealand as an architect, they should do the Masters of Architecture Professional. If either an architect or an engineer would like to specialize in construction project management, they can do the Masters of Architectural Science. And just to highlight a couple of other ones, user experience design is a really great program. You don't need to have studied it previously as long as you have a design portfolio. And new as well, Masters of Urban and Regional Planning is coming up. Last two faculties, I really did get through these quickly this time around. Faculty of Education, Masters of Education does not lead to teaching registration. That's the graduate diploma level. So please be aware of that. And in our Faculty of Health, we have a Masters of Health that health professionals like doctors, dentists, pharmacists can register for. Again, doesn't lead to registration as a medical professional, but you can specialize in other areas like health leadership and management. And the Masters of Nursing Practice, very interesting. It's for people who are not currently nurses and would like to become nurses. And you can gain your registration in 2 years via that Masters. Last but certainly not least, PhD. If you'd like to apply for PhD, it's a very simple online application via our website. There's a how to apply guide that sets out everything you need to know about the PhD process, what documents you need, etc. And we do also have a page through which you can search for an appropriate supervisor as well. So admission requirements, just to go over it in brief. If you are applying for a bachelor's degree, it depends on the curriculum. For CBSE, ISC students, we need 75% average in the best 4 subjects, 65% in English. Other state boards, it's 80% average in your top 4 subjects, 70% in English. For IB diploma, you have to achieve the diploma of 24 points. And for Cambridge, it's 3 advanced level subjects at C or above. We have English language waivers at bachelor's level as well. For master's degrees, we are looking at GPAs of between B- to B+ in your bachelor's degree. We work this out by looking at your grading scale from your university. So depending on whether your minimum passing percentage was 33%, 40%, or 50%, that actually does affect the percentage that we need from you to be able to enter into the program. So we do a individualized assessment of each profile as it comes in, rather than having a 1% fits all model. Yeah. Scholarships, we have one main academic scholarship, which is called the Tongarewa Scholarship, and that is either $5,000 or $10,000 for the first year's study. We may be having a special scholarship offered by Unique Way for our programs coming up. We're just working out the final details of that. So please do keep an eye on the Unique Way website for when we finalize that. And so go ahead, Bharat.
Thank you, Andy, for adding that. I think that would be something, again, I can add a bit more details. It'll be up to 10% of the tuition fee scholarship, guys. We'll be adding that very soon, very shortly. But again, like I just said, the final details are on process.
And then some faculties and some programs have their own specific scholarships that they offer. So it's always good browsing through our scholarship database to see what you might be eligible for. Now, working, I know if you're coming for any type of program in New Zealand, it's always a great opportunity to stay back, gain some work experience afterwards after your education. So students are allowed to work 20 hours a week during their semester. They can work full-time in any scheduled holidays. Now, if you complete a bachelor's degree, a master's, or a PhD, you are eligible for up to a 3-year post-study work visa For masters and PhD, that is not affected by the length of your studies. For a 1-year master's, you can still get a 3-year work visa. For bachelors, it depends on how long you've done the bachelor's for in New Zealand. So if you've done a transfer of credits, you've only done 2 years in New Zealand, you might only get 2 years. If you've done the full 3 years or 4 years in New Zealand, you'll get 3 years. Postgraduate diploma, only 1 year post-study work visa now, and graduate diploma and below, work visa is dependent on it meeting the green list of occupations that INZ has recently released. If anyone has questions about that, I'm happy, or Bharat or Priyanka will be happy to go into a bit of further detail of that during the Q&A session. And we do have a career services department that prepares students for the workforce. They also organize career expos and other networking events throughout the year. And as mentioned previously, many of our programs actually have internships included within your academic period that the university will place you within that internship. So it's a great opportunity to gain work experience even before you complete your studies. So that's it. That's me. I put my email address there just in case anyone wants to get in touch with any specific questions. And now I will pass over, I think, to Nicolesh next, right?
Yes, thank you, Andrea, for update. And I believe, guys, you're welcome to add as many questions you want to add in the Q&A box. I've just added a link to green list also. So again, now we're talking about, I think when we talk about study abroad, we need money for that. And I believe I think Nicolesh is here to see that what are the options would ICICI Bank provide in terms of financial, so supporting the financial for student to study abroad. Again, over to you, Nicolesh. And I know the couple of good things are added for New Zealand universities coming in.
Just a second. So, Bharat, can you just please confirm if my screen is visible? Just I wanted to take students through just 2-3 slides.
It's visible. It's visible, Nicolesh.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. It was wonderful. I'm really excited to talk to you today. And really wonderful session by Andrea. Really loved it. And so one thing that really grabbed my eyes is, on the page where we are talking about the financials, right? Where actually the fee, we are talking about the undergraduate and, postgraduate fee. So that actually, grabbed my eyes because there were actually we come into picture. So I'm really happy to share with all of you that, I'm introducing ICICI Bank to the Indian students and also the abroad students as well. So we belong to ICICI, and I'm really happy to share that, we have collaborated with Unique Way. And of course, with help of Unique Way, we are trying to, collaborate with universities as well and provide some, customized solutions for all of you in terms of financials that you require for your higher studies. So just, a brief, we are one of the, biggest bank in India. And of course, we do have a presence across the globe. And so one thing I just wanted to highlight here is, we are coming up with the customized solutions for you. So what all those customized solutions, maybe I'll just elaborate in my next 2 to 3 slides. Before that, so our education loan product is here to help you in terms of both unsecured loans, which means, without any collateral also, we do provide loans for you guys. If, if the students are not aware that what actually meant by secured and unsecured, which means, if you go to any other, public lending banks, they usually ask for collateral, okay, for your higher studies. But in ICICI, we are coming up with a solution very specific to New Zealand that we are okay to provide collateral free, which means any security we don't ask for depending upon the university, and we are okay to provide you unsecured loans, which is one of the a key USP of ICICI Bank is what I can say. Okay, and very, very important thing actually that the people has a perception that whether we'll be having funds required for your daily expenses or what are there will be a lot of other expenses as well apart from the tuition fee. So we do cover everything. You just forget about the financials, we will take care of it. You just concentrate on your studies, we'll take care of entire financials whatever required. So in terms of I have just mentioned everything, so including your travel expense, including your hostel expense if you're staying inside the campus or outside the campus, or if you want any such equipment that actually enables you to perform really well in your education, in terms of a laptop or in terms of whatever financials, you just ask me. We do here to provide whatever financials that you require. Okay, so everything we take care. You just please concentrate on your doing well in your university studies. And just briefly, I just wanted to highlight few more things. In terms of interest rates, also we are very competitive for international segment. If you see the other banks, they have a very higher rate of interest, and they do ask for collaterals as well. But in ICICI, we are very student centric, and of course, we want to support students in getting education loans so that they can do really well in their lives. So we do actually care for the students. So that's the reason, as I already mentioned, we can provide loans. A secured loan, if you want, it can go up to 2 crores, but unsecured loans, which means collateral free, or we don't ask for any collateral, up to 50 lakhs. So it depends upon the institute also and the university as well. We'll just talk in detail in the Q&A if you have any questions in terms of unsecured loans or collateral free loans. Apart from that, there are few, if in case if you require more than the amount that the unsecured loan limit is, there actually we look after collateral and all that stuff. So it was clearly mentioned that which collaterals that we accept. If the limit is beyond 50 lakhs, and if you are eligible for a collateral loan, then we do ask for these type of collaterals which were mentioned in the screen. So margin money concept and all that stuff, I'll just park it here, because if you want to go more in detail, definitely I'll take up these questions in Q&A. So, but one thing I just wanted to highlight here is the rate of interest, what actually we are providing, and in terms of unsecured loans, and in terms of the processing the loan, the TAT, which means how fast we do process the loans. All these aspects, we are absolutely excellent compared to any other private sector bank or public sector bank in India. Yeah. So of course, I don't know how many of you guys are aware that education loan will also provide you a tax rebate in India. I don't want to elaborate it, but whenever you get some time, please just have a look, because whatever the interest that you are paying, that is superbly, it can be used by your parents or yourself after once you complete your studies. So simply what I just wanted to highlight here is, whatever the interest that you're paying, that complete interest can be eligible for a tax rebate as well. Please just Google it, and if you have any questions, just please come back to me once in the Q&A. But education on whatever you are taking, it is eligible for tax rebate as well, and ICICI Bank can provide you the tax rebate as well for you and also your parents as well. So both, anyone can exercise this tax rebate option. This is a very wonderful option, which I'm not emphasizing now because of the time limit, but you just please Google it, or else you can just post your questions, and Q&A will just definitely interact with that as well. Okay,
Sure.
and
I think
yeah.
Sorry, Niklesh, I can add that I have added the links for ICICI Bank loan options in the chat box, guys. Okay, over to you, Niklesh, again.
Yeah. So one last thing I just wanted to highlight. So of course, we have spoke a lot about the features and all that stuff. Then how to apply is what is the question, right? So there, we have seen a big hit in terms of pandemic. So what we thought is, let's scrap the process of visiting a branch and a customer visiting a branch and applying for a loan, the conventional model actually usually that used to happen earlier. But now we are completely digital. So wherever you are in India, so you can apply for an education loan so simply through the links. I hope Bharat is also posting that links. It's very simple. It's like a do-it-yourself DIY kind of a journey, which is end-to-end digital. You can just sit at comfort of your home, apply for education loan from your comfort of your home, upload the documents, and we will take it forward. So if you are applying for, let's say, for example, a Mumbai kind of a location, whatever location it may be, so that loan application will be sent to the nearest relationship manager, and he'll contact you and he'll take it forward. And we will process the loan at, on an average of, 4 to 5 days for an unsecured loan, and for 8 to 9 days for a secured loan. So that simple it is. No ICICI, prior duration is required for availing this loan. This is not only for ICICI customers. We are open, and we are here to help you guys if you are non-ICICI customers also. Okay. So that's what the documentation part and all that stuff, definitely will share it with all of you. That's what from my end. I don't want to take much time of yours, but I'm more than happy to answer all your questions in terms of financial eligibility and financial things that I require. And we are coming up with a long wave with UniqueWay. We are providing a lot of customized offers, which will be live very soon. I request please go to the website of UniqueWay, and of course you'll see wonderful things from ICICI end as well. In collaboration with UniqueWay, of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Niklesh. Thank you, Niklesh. I know it will be very less time, but again, now we come to the juicy part of the whole webinar. It's the Q&A section, and I think what I'll do is that I'll take the questions one by one. And again, whoever is not added the questions yet, you are welcome to add. and see that how we can do it. And I believe somebody's answering the questions. Also, like if it's Andrea or Priyanka, you're welcome to do that. I think I'll start with Asif. Asif Lone have asked the question that I've just passed class 12. Should I get admission? I believe yes. Andrea, you're welcome
Yes.
to go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Asif, if you can actually put in the Q&A as well, what type of a program you're looking for, which curriculum or which board you graduated from, I can give some more information. I'm happy to tell you about specific bachelor's programs. What we find is that the students who come to New Zealand for their bachelor's programs do very well. They usually get a good job after graduating from the bachelor's, rather than needing to go on to a master's afterwards for a good employment opportunity. There's certain areas in New Zealand which are very much in demand in terms of education and skills and employment. So I'm also happy to provide guidance on that. But if you can put in the chat what areas you're interested in, what you think you'd like to study, I'm more than happy to do that. Otherwise, I put my email address up there. I can put it in the chat as well. You can also email me and I'd be happy to discuss study plans with you. But yes, I do encourage students to come for bachelor's degrees. It's not just a master's destination. As I said, we are the #1 English speaking in the world for educating students for the future. So the education that you get is very much based on things like critical thinking and creativity and practical aspects. So it's not that you're just being taught things that you have to memorize. It's learning how to think, not what to think.
Great. Thank you, Andy. And I believe I'll go to the next question of Mohit, which Mohit, you've not written the question. If I see that you said 12th in 2009, I believe you've done 12th in 2009. And after that, if you have done bachelor's and all, yes, you can apply. If you've not done anything and you're working, there are options to apply, but I will recommend to put question in full format if you can. It'll be easier for us to answer that. Next question is Aman Benewal from India. Hello, sir. I'm able with 50% marks in my undergraduate.
Okay. Aman, it would depend on which program you wanted to apply for. It would also depend on your work experience. So some programs are very strict in terms of marks. Some programs take work experience into account as well. Universities are usually have a bit of higher cutoffs in terms of the percentages required. So sometimes you'll find that if the profile is not suitable for a university, you might have good opportunities at one of the polytechnics instead. But I would need to know which program you wanted to apply for. I would also need to know, in your degree, what was the minimum passing mark to be able to properly advise on eligibility for that.
Yeah, totally agree. And again, like Andrew said, there are options which can be given, but it will be great to know that what you're looking for. We have Faithful, Matt. Good morning, all. My name is Faithful. Matthew. I think I have questions to ask, but I will do that maybe after Victoria's presentation. Okay, I think the presentation is over.
It'll be
welcome to it.
Further down.
Yeah, it looks like
yeah, that's right. I think Matthew has asked questions, which is at the bottom. So probably we'll take it one by one as we come
we'll
there.
keep going so we don't miss any.
It'll be easier. Thank you. I think we have Ritu from India. I already applied in Victoria University and I got my offer letter. I don't know through RBS or through Unique, but somebody else looks like as well. But I didn't join the course at the time. So can I reapply to same university? Andrea, here you go.
Yes, Ritu, you can. For most programs, all that you need to do is, depending on whether you applied yourself or through an agent, either you or your agent just needs to email the admissions department and say, I would like to defer my offer to such and such intake. There are a couple of programs which want you to reapply. Those are the ones that have limited intakes, like Masters of Design Technology. But in most cases, it's just a very simple process of saying, I'd like to defer. A lot of students are doing this. I've had students who have deferred their offers 2-3 times while they've waited for borders to open. They're now finally going to come down to us in either November this year or February next year. So please do get in touch. We'd be more than happy to reissue your offer letter for the next available intake.
Great. And again, Ritu, if you've not applied for enroll, you're welcome to connect to ICICI Bank also, because that's another option, or your agency partner, whoever you're going with. But again, if you want to come back to either Unique or RBS or dial up to Victoria University or Andrea, you're welcome to do that. We are open to support you anywhere. We have Bessie from Nigeria. How long it takes on an average student to earn their PhD and how funding is available? I'm happy to answer,
Okay.
but Andre, over to you.
Yes. So Basi, the normal PhD length in New Zealand is 3 years. For some people, it might extend. It all depends on their research. But usually 3 years. Now, New Zealand PhDs are actually charged at domestic student rates rather than international student rates. So it's only around 8,000 to 9,000 New Zealand dollars per year. We do have funding available. All of the universities have funding for scholarships, but not every student receives a scholarship. It depends on your GPA and your previous studies. It can depend on your research proposal. It can depend on the subject area that you're doing your PhD in. When you apply for your PhD, that application is also your scholarship application. So you don't need to apply separately. At the time that you find out if you have an offer for PhD, you also find out if you have a scholarship. We do in some cases also give stipends for living expenses. But as said, it's not guaranteed for every student. It depends on your profile. It depends on your area of research.
I can add to this basis that very soon UniQuay is organizing a PhD, a webinar on the PhD courses for New Zealand. Should be in the mid of August or end of August. That's been lined up to make sure that we have got around 200 plus inquiries of PhD for multiple countries. And I believe New Zealand is a country where you can see the fees is comparatively much lesser than other countries. Just to give you a heads up. Okay, going to Sohail, can we get admission on scholarship basis? I believe yes.
Yes.
You're welcome to have,
Yeah. So you can, Sohail, but the one thing to be aware of is that it is only at PhD level that we have fully funded scholarships. Otherwise, the scholarship amount is usually just that $10,000 maximum. So it is good to plan your finances alongside as well. Education loans are a great way to do that. So if you're going for PhD, fully funded is possible. If you're any level below that, it's usually a maximum of $10,000 that can be granted for the scholarship.
Great. And yes, again, you can always have multiple scholarship if you are getting 2 scholarships at the same time. But again, it depends upon how you're doing that. We've got anonymous attendee. How can I join this university? I have done my graduation from India. I want to work in ANZ, which is Australia, New Zealand. Yes, Andrea, go ahead.
You can contact UniQuay with your documents. Tell them what type of a program you'd like to go for, or you can email me. Tell me your background and what program you'd like to go for, and we can guide you as per what would be the program that you are eligible for, and then UniQuay can help you with the application process.
Sure. I think what I'll do is that, again, it's apart from UniQuay, I think Priyanka is from RBS. Will be great. Either RBS or UniQuay will come back to you with the options, because today's partner is RBS Intellect. We have, I think I can't see the phone name here. A student is there who said, how I can apply with any English test. I think Priyanka, do you want to answer this? Or, okay, Andrea, you want to take all? Looks like today.
No, Priyanka can do this one.
Sure.
How I can apply with any English test? So basis what level of course you would like to apply, you need to meet the English language requirement. If it would be an master's or post-graduation course, in IELTS exam, you would need to achieve overall band score of 6.5 with no band score less than 6. Anything below that for graduate or bachelor courses, you would need to achieve overall band score of 6 with no band less than 5.5. So it depends on the level of course you would need to attempt. You will need to meet the requirement. The English test are available, like New Zealand accepts IELTS, PT, TOEFL, and language cert. That's right. Duolingo is still not acceptable by New Zealand, just letting you guys know, because there were many questions asked in the past whether Duolingo is accepted. So that's not accepted as yet. For more details, I will share a link with you guys just to make sure that you are aware about which English tests are acceptable by New Zealand. Yep, over to you, Bharat.
I think, thank you, Priyanka. I think I'll go to the next question. I believe it's students from Nigeria. Again, Niklesh, she wanted to apply for loan. I believe it is not possible. Again, if you want to put some or kind of direct someone.
Yeah, so as of now, we are unable to do so. But yes, in the future, we are planning to do such kind of loans as well, at least for some specific countries. As of now, Bharat, I'm extremely sorry for the
Yeah,
student.
no, totally agree. I knew that. I just want to make sure that his answer is there. But guys, ICICI Bank do have branches in UK, Canada, if I'm not wrong, and they're coming with a couple of other more options, which will be great. And they are actually a retail bank in UK and Canada. Is that correct, Niklesh? You can provide loans there. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's the citizens of UK or Canada or Canadian citizens. Now going to Faithful, Matthew, as ICC loan for those applying for Victoria University Wellington, can ICCI be given some that is applying to AUT if I'm not wrong? Yes, Niklesh, over to you. You can
So
apply loan to. Yeah.
No, it's not specific to any university. We are open, and it is purely based on your choice of university. So it is, we are not confined to Wellington. We are open for all the universities, is what I can say. Not only New Zealand. I just wanted to highlight that we do provide loans for across the globe. Offerings as well. But here, yes, of course, for New Zealand, we are coming up with a big win. That's what
Great.
I can say.
Thank you very much. And Niklesh, again, I can add to everyone that ICICI Bank have a list of universities for each destination. You can do and check with, if again, like I said, there's a link you can go and directly and apply for it, and they can give you the answers on that. We have a question from Jatin. Jatin, you're planning to do masters in New Zealand. Yes, it's good to do that. There are changes in new policy which see that if you're going for a 1-year master's, you can get a 3-year work right. It'll be great to know that what masters you're looking for, and if it's at Victoria University Wellington. I can add here, Victoria have certain good masters which are relevant to green list, which is a new list, or there are IT programs which are relevant to the job market in Wellington, which is pretty good, and I see the opportunities are very high. So do look into the website of Victoria University or uniqueway.com. We have Renu again. Is there any fully funded scholarship for masters in nursing? Andrea?
Yeah, no, unfortunately, no. Anything below PhD level, there's no full funding available. So you could apply for one of the academic merit scholarships, but it wouldn't be full. It would be maximum $10,000.
Sure. I think, Renu, just to add, there are some scholarships offered in New Zealand, and there are around 600 scholarships mentioned on Unique Way website also. Do look into it. I don't see the fully funded scholarship in New Zealand available, but then there are multiple options you can see in. Though $10,000 is still a pretty decent amount from any New Zealand university coming down as a scholarship. I'll go to opinion from Nigeria. On the school website, I couldn't find the MSc Geoinfographic Information System. I'm a native English speaker from Nigeria. Sorry, go ahead, Andrea.
So I've just sent that link across to you, Bharat, if you can put it on the chat, the Masters of GIS. I think, Opayami, it might be because you're looking in the MSc. It's not part of the MSc. It has its own unique masters. So you can either go Master GIS VUW on Google, but I think Bharat should be putting the link in the chat now too, to be able to provide that to you. We do have English language waivers for Nigeria, depending on the university that you've graduated from, what you have studied previously. So do keep that in mind when you apply to us. GIS is a really good area to study in New Zealand because spatial scientists are on the green list. They are in demand there. So we find that GIS is one of those areas where there's a lot of opportunities when you finish. The master's itself also has an internship incorporated into it. You can only work 20 hours a week part-time while you're studying. So please keep that in mind. And you can work full-time in any of the holidays. Family life, yes, you can bring your spouse and your kids along. If you're a master's student, your spouse can be eligible for a work visa. They can work full-time, and your kids are eligible to be domestic status students in New Zealand, which means they get free education at the New Zealand government schools, and lots of fun things to do as a family in New Zealand, lots of great activities that you can do on the weekend with them or after the school hours.
Great. And can I add here, Andrea, that students who are looking for astrophysics, can they go for a GIS or Geoinfographic Information System course?
So astrophysics, it would probably be better. I have geophysics instead. Okay. So geophysics might be a better fit for them because we have geophysics in solid earth, and we also have one in so more like meteorology level.
Totally agree on that.
Yeah, so we don't have astrophysics exactly. Geophysics is a good match. one good thing to mention for our bachelor's students, from next year, we're going to have space science as a major that they can pursue. So that will be a combination of many different disciplines for people who are interested in working within the space industry.
I believe there's another competition coming to Canterbury University. Looks like that. You're going to set up another center here. Now,
Yes.
I've just added some answer to Opiumi also. Now, coming back to the question again, we have Amarachi from Nigeria. I don't see any masters in medical lab scientists here. Do you see any school fee?
Yeah. Okay. So Amarachi, it's not a program that we offer. I have clinical immunology and I have biomedical science. Medical lab technology might be offered by different universities, or they might be offered by polytechnics. So I would just encourage you to go on the Unique Way website, have a search, and see who offers it. It's unfortunately not one of our areas.
Agreed. And yes, there are programs offered at University of Otago or University of Auckland, but again, there are polytechnics offering that. So you're welcome to go in, and again, we will send you the link also, Amarachi. We have Ritu again, how much gap is accepted or not? Now, guys, I know we've been talking about gaps and everything, and I can give a brief here. Andy has been linked to immigration for a couple of years now, 6-7 years now. So you're welcome to add why we are, why we have very strong answers coming here.
Yes. So the answer differs from a university perspective and from a visa perspective. As a university, we don't care about gaps. You can have a gap of as many years as possible, as long as in your previous education you met the eligibility requirements for the program that you're applying for. From an immigration perspective, when you apply for your visa, what they want to see is that if you have a gap, that it is realistic, that you genuinely intend to study your program, and that you understand about the program that you're studying and what the outcomes will be for you. Generally, if you have been working, that doesn't actually count as a gap in terms of visa. You just show your work experience documents. There's nothing to worry about. If you have not been working, then what it is best to do is just be honest about the reasons for the gap. If you are a mum who took a break to raise your kids, that's okay. Just give a good explanation of why you're going back to study now. Make sure that you understand fully about the program you're going to complete and what you'll do afterwards. If you lost your job during the pandemic, that's also really reasonable. A lot of people lost their jobs during the pandemic or struggled. And having lost your job and wanting to now upskill yourself so that you have better employment opportunities is also a very reasonable explanation. So just be very transparent, be very honest about the reasons for the gap, and make sure that whatever program you are applying for, you are really well-versed in the contents of that program, why you're studying it, and what you're going to do afterwards, because that is important to prove to immigration so that they are, they can be satisfied that you're a genuine student.
Great. I think, thank you. A detailed answer from you, Andrea. I'll go to Bessie again from Nigeria. Can intern students access this loan, and what is the payment plan? Now, sorry, Niklesh, I believe it's a Nigerian case again. Now, Bessie, just to add you, though ICICI don't offer the loan for Nigerian student, but we are talking to a company called Now Digital, which is a platform, a financial platform based out of Nigeria. We are bringing some options from there too, which can be an alternate option to you. There are education loan options in Nigeria which you can apply for. Niklesh, you want to add on this now?
Same. The answer remains same. So as of now, currently we don't do, but very soon might be, we will definitely, come into that as well. But we do provide loans, as Bharat has highlighted, as we have our retail teams over there in ICICI, Canada and UK. So currently we do there, but in other places we are expanding. Very soon we'll be there. Very soon.
Great, thank you. I think all the people who raised the hand, you are welcome to answer, put your question on the Q&A box. I can see the list is crossing 50 now. So Priya from India, hello, my question is for Andrea. Internships are offered with every course, even with PG diploma courses?
Okay, so Priya, generally the internship is offered in the last trimester of your master's. So it would not be part of the PG diploma course. The PG diploma, you'll be finishing all of your academic requirements. in your first 2 trimesters. And then in your 3rd trimester, that's where you get the internship offered. I do encourage students who are eligible for masters to choose that option rather than the PG dip. As we explained earlier, the work visa rules have also changed so that if you do a PG dip, you're only eligible for 1 year. If you do a master's, you're eligible for 3 years work visa. So if you do want to stay back and gain experience in New Zealand after your studies, really worthwhile choosing the master's rather than the PG dip. Plus, you usually get a practical component if you're choosing the coursework masters in that last trimester that you miss out on if you're choosing the PG dip.
Great. I think that's again a detailed answer on that. But again, Priya, just to add, look into the option of masters also, because with postgraduate diploma under the new policy, if you're applying for a program which is or any program, it's a 1 year work right. With the master, you can get up to 3 year post-study work right. Now, going to this, there's an anonymous attendee. What is, I think, not crisis, but a criteria. See, it'll be great. Okay, here you go, Andrea, for you, because I'm sending a message only. Andrea, over to you. You want to answer anything here on that?
So scholarship criteria is usually academic merit-based and it's competitive. There are some programs that have automatic scholarships. If you get an offer, you get a scholarship. And these ones that I'd like to mention at the moment, we have a Masters of Conservation Biology, a Masters of Marine Conservation, and a Masters of International Trade. Our LLM has a needs-based scholarship. So you write to them about why you need the scholarship. The others, it always has to do with your academic points. And it also, it's competitive. So we have a number of scholarships to give away. We give them to the best students. So if you have a good GPA, it's always worth applying for a scholarship because there are chances. It's not guaranteed, but always worth applying for one.
Great. And again, if somebody is looking for a scholarship, yes, you can apply. But again, a scholarship will not be a fully funded. So you might have to show financials in a different way. It's the answer to the another question which is coming in, the loan burden and all. See, loan is one of the method of showing your financials. Again, you still need $30,000 to $50,000 of financial to be shown while you apply for your study visa to New Zealand, even if you get $10,000 or $5,000 scholarship. I'm going to Damien now, Darren from Nigeria. What are the process to get loan? Again, sorry, Darren, the loan are option currently for Indian student in this webinar. Again, we will send you the links about the options of loan in Nigeria. Renu again from India. I'm planning a master's in anesthesiologist. Sorry,
I can never say it either. The word.
Yeah, anesthesiologist. Can I get admission just after my graduation without any clinical experience?
Yeah. So Renu, I'm not the right person to answer that question. University of Auckland and University of Otago are the 2 universities in New Zealand that have medical schools. They would be the ones that would have a relevant program for you. So it's just good to check out their offerings and then see what their requirements are.
Great. I think I'll try to give the answer, just saying the spellings are right or not, because it is not even searching on that. Going to Kabir, I want to do bachelor's in commerce or communication and on scholarship basis. Is there any scholarship criteria?
Yeah. Okay. So Kabir, great choices. If you're interested in our Bachelors of Commerce, you can apply either for this November or next February. If you're interested in our Bachelors of Communication, you can apply for February 2023. They both have a good number of majors to choose from. So in communication, you can be doing marketing communication, political or science communication, literary and creative communication. There's a whole range to choose from. And in commerce, there's pretty much everything from accounting to finance to information systems to tourism. So depending on what type of a career you're interested in afterwards, I'd be happy to provide further advice. Please do reach out either to me or to RBS in unique ways so that we can guide you on choices of majors and the types of careers that are available afterwards. Scholarship criteria, again, is academic merit-based. So you can be awarded up to $10,000 for the first year of your bachelor's, and it would be dependent on what your percentage or what your GPA is in your 12th grade.
Great. I think I'll go to the question of Sahil. And Dagan's question is again loan. yes, loan is applicable for international students, but from your country. Sahil, I'm 2018 civil engineering graduate and had 2-year work experience. I want to pursue construction management. What's the fees and scholarship option? I want to settle ASAP. Here you go,
Okay.
Andrea.
All right. So Sahil, you can apply for our Masters of Architectural Science. Don't be fooled by the name. It's open to engineers as well. And then you would choose the project management specialization within it. It's a 1-year program. It has a February intake and it includes a full-time internship in your last 3 months of the program. Really good employment opportunities afterwards because construction management is in the shortage list in New Zealand. So skills that are highly in demand when you graduate. The fees I will need to sorry, I don't unfortunately I don't remember all of my fees off the top of my head, so just bear with me and I will just find that out for you.
You're
right,
welcome
so
to go to uniqueway.com. I'll not say anything on this here.
Yes.
Andrea, you can find out and I'll
It's-
take the next question here.
Yeah, it's around 64,000 New Zealand dollars, which would be about 32 lakhs in total.
Great. And there is an option of, again, you can see the planning, how the funds can be planned on it.
Yeah.
So we have Isha side from India. I've completed my master's in engineering in mechanical stream. Already, can I get admission in PhD or I need to do master's again over there?
Yes, you can get a admission directly into PhD. It depends on whether there is a thesis or a dissertation or a sizable research project in your master's, because what we need is we need your master's to have a research component rather than being only a coursework master's. If you have a coursework master's, you may need to do another master's in order to be eligible for PhD studies.
Great. I think we have got another question from Nigeria coming in. I noticed no agriculture program. Guys, yeah, Victoria University, very limited programs or no programs in agriculture. You can go to Lincoln University.
Yeah,
or
wrong university for
here.
agriculture. Yeah, I really recommend Lincoln University. They are our land-based university, and so their specialization is actually agriculture and food technology and wine technology. And so anyone who wants agriculture, check out Lincoln University. They've got some really great programs there.
Or the other option is that you can also see in some programs in Massey University in Palmerston North. There are some other programs, but these are the two universities which have campus based out of city or spread it across the agriculture sites, which will be needed for this program. We again, Syed from India is mechanical engineering a lucrative enough career in New Zealand? I believe yes, it's a part of the new green list.
Yep.
Andrea, you want to add there?
You can also consider going into renewable energy from a mechanical engineering background. That's very much in demand given New Zealand's plans to be carbon neutral by 2050, the fact that 80% of our energy is now supplied by renewable energy. So think about, from a mechanical engineering background, do you want to go into a further specialization as well? That could be a good choice for you.
Great. I think we have Sahil again from India. Do you have short-term 6-month courses too? Or do you have 1-year master program or all 2-year? Now, I can say that Sahil, coming to you, Andrea, Sahil, 6-month courses are not recommended to do in New Zealand because of the visa purposes. Otherwise, you will go on a short-term visa, will be not recommended.
Yes.
What do you, Andrea, with 1 year and 2 years?
Yeah, Sahil, we have short-term courses, but as Bharat was saying, we do not recommend them to our international students because if you do want to stay back in New Zealand and gain work experience afterwards, then you won't be eligible to do so. You would have to just come, go back again. We have a lot of 1-year masters. Most of my 2-year masters are research masters. Most of my coursework masters are either 1 or 1.5 years. So there's a lot of different options there that are 1-year masters.
Great. And again, there are, otherwise, if you can't find your program or course in Victoria University, again, Sahil, you're welcome to go on uniquely.com and search of other universities also. Again, will be great to see what course suits you rather than just a short term or long term. I'll not recommend that way. Charles from Kenya. Hello, ma'am. I'm interested in Masters in Electrical Engineering. However, I'm a 4th year, first semester student currently in India. Welcome. When is a suitable time to making application and do we have any financial aid?
Yes. Okay. So Charles, lovely to hear from you. And please rest assured that there is no issues with being a third country national studying in another country. We are just looking at whether your bachelor's degree is eligible or not. Doesn't matter what that you're in a different country from your country of nationality. So you can apply to us when you're in the final semester of your bachelor's degree, or you can apply to us when you finish the bachelor's degree. It's up to you. If you apply in the final semester, you need to give us your transcripts up to your 7th semester mark sheets, and you can get a conditional offer in that way. If you apply after you finish, you can get the unconditional offer directly. The financial aid is just the academic merit scholarship previously that I mentioned, which is up to $10,000. So it's unfortunately not a not a full scholarship in that area. We have a number of different masters in engineering. One really great one is the Masters of Engineering Practice. Now that's a 1-year master's. You could do either electrical engineering or renewable energy as your specialization. It does include a $10,000 paid internship in your final 3 months as well. The next option I would recommend is our Masters of Renewable Energy, which is the new Masters for next year. Really very much in demand as well. So depending on whether you want the renewable focus or the electrical engineering focus, they could both be good choices for you.
Great. And I think next question is the Didan from Nigeria. And Didan, I've typed your answer to you, clinical psychology in New Zealand at a master's level. There are approximately 20 odd programs in various universities. I'm just giving you the link. Again, there is a program at Victoria University. Is that correct, Andrea?
So I have to unfortunately give some disappointing news here. So Dadam, while we have clinical psychology programs available, somebody who is coming from overseas would generally not be accepted into them. The reason for this is that in New Zealand, to become a clinical psychologist, it's very important that you have an understanding of our Indigenous language and culture, because we are a bicultural environment. When you are a clinical psychology, you'll be working with Indigenous people alongside as well. So it's not that they're not open to international students, but it would not be suitable for someone who has no understanding of New Zealand culture and the environment to enter straight into them. It could be possible to go into clinical psychology once you have done another qualification in New Zealand, but it is a difficult pathway. There's only a few places available at each university every year. So please keep that in mind, that there would be no direct pathway to clinical psychology from overseas, and it is very competitive to get into because of the number of seats available. We have other psychology programs that you can aim for. I have a Masters of Health Psychology, a Masters of Educational Psychology. I've got Forensic Psychology, Cognitive and Behavioral Neuroscience, Cross-Cultural Psychology. These are all open for students who are coming directly from overseas.
Great, and I've added both the links, one complete list for psychology courses and one with the clinical psychology to you.
Yeah.
We're going to Neha, India. I've done 10 plus 2 in 2009 from Open University, and I've started working and have experience of 8 years. I'm looking to university which can help me. And I have a 1.5-year-old daughter from India.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
and should we leave it to someone else also? Sorry. Okay, go ahead, Andrea.
Yeah. So I was going to say, so Neha, was it from the NIOS? The National Institute of Open Schooling. If it is, then yes, we do recognize NIOS. You would need 80% average in your best 4 subjects to be eligible. Now, from a university perspective, the only qualification we could offer you after +2 would be a bachelor's degree. So it would be a matter of enrolling for a 3 or a 4-year bachelor's degree with us.
Yeah, and it's good to see that if you are if your experience can be recognized for any graduate diplomas, but that may not help you for the further study. There are pre-master's program, because your age will be a factor here. Do check with us or with RBS. It's been helpful for at the same time.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to anonymous attendee. I have graduated in December 2022. Can I apply for my master's right now in advance? Yes, why not? Andrea?
Yep. As long as you've received the transcript of your second last trimester. So if it's a 3-year degree, your 5th trimester, if it's a 4-year degree, your 7th trimester, yes, you can apply for your chosen masters.
Great. I'll go to Sahil after that. Sahil is asking about luxury brand management in New Zealand. I've not seen that course, Sahil. I was trying to search it, but there are courses in sports management. I
Yeah.
played.
We're not very luxurious people in New Zealand.
I can say that.
We're-
We are,
We're
but we
very
don't
down
offer
to
those
earth.
courses. Good one.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm adding your sports management option or sports or recreation options which are offered. I'm doubt that the Victoria University offer those courses.
No, we are looking at adding sports management into our health faculty in the future. It's not quite there yet. In the Masters of Health, in the health promotion specialization, there are courses on promoting sports and exercise among children and youth, but we don't have an overall sports management qualification available yet. There are a lot of other really great options in sports management at other New Zealand universities, as well as some of the polytechnics and colleges. So yeah, we probably wouldn't be the right university for what you're looking for, but there are some others that have really great choices.
Great. I think we now have anonymous one of Tijani from Nigeria. Good morning, sir. I have NC in Nigeria. Can I get admission in Faculty of Education? I believe yes, it's a bachelor's.
Yeah,
He is an NC. Yeah. Is it year 12 if I'm not wrong?
I'm not familiar with what the NCE is. Tijani, is that your 12th grade qualification?
Yes, it's the 12th if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
If it is, then yes, you would be able to. So we have, if you want to become a teacher, then we have a Bachelor's of Early Childhood Education teaching that you can take to be an early childhood teacher. It's a really great area to be in, and plus lots of cute kids to work with. If you want to be a primary school teacher or a secondary school teacher, then rather than offering a bachelor's degree, you would do a different bachelor's degree and then a graduate diploma in teaching afterwards. But some of the other universities do have bachelor's degrees for primary school teaching. So it depends on what level you're looking at. With us, with your 12th grade qualification, you could come into our Bachelor's of Early Childhood Teaching.
Great. And again, just to add on this, NC is actually somebody who's done a high school class 12 plus, they are a Nigerian certificate in education have been completed. I believe graduate diploma should be the option for them. Going down here is that anonymous attendees, is there any work experience required for Masters of Business? I had done my Bachelor's of Business BBA and got 8.2 CGPA.
Yeah. So it depends on which of the programs in business you're applying for. And again, this differs university to university. For us, if you are applying for our executive MBA, that needs 5 years work experience. If you do not have work experience, then I recommend applying for our Master of Global Business. It's a 1-year program. It has its intake in November. It also has an industry project in it that you get to do in the last trimester. And you can choose a specialization as well. So you could do management or marketing or HR or information systems, accounting, finance, whatever you're interested in. That one does not need work experience to enter into it.
I've sent the link to you about Master of Global Business while Andrew was answering the question. Now we have Charles from Kenya. What would be the average tuition fee plus living cost in taking master's study as well? I think we can leave it to Priyanka for now. Otherwise, Andrew, you can have a bit of break.
Sure. So Charles, specifically, if I'm talking about Victoria University of Wellington, the average tuition fees for a master's program would range anywhere from 32,000 New Zealand dollars if it's a 1-year program to up to 62,000 New Zealand dollars if it's a 180 points program. So it depends on what, how many points program or what duration program you would like to pursue your master's for. Along with that, your living cost or cost of living for 1 year would be approximately 20,000 New Zealand dollars for 1 year. So if you do the math, if you're doing a 1 year's master program for 120 points, it would be 32,000 plus 20,000. That's like 52,000 on an average.
Great.
Yep.
I think thank you, Priyanka. And what I'll do is that I'll just skip some questions which have been answered. So I have a question from Kabir. I'm eligible for scholarship. Kabir, we'll recommend to send your document to either RBS or you can check with Andrea on our email ID or you can send to uniqueway.com. We'll try to give you the answers, are you eligible or not. Now, same way we have Renu. How can I apply for scholarship? How can I apply in the university? How much bank balance needed? Renu, will be great if you can share your CV with Priyanka or Andrea. We can update you and support you. Priyanka and Andy, you're welcome to type your email IDs on chat box. It will be helpful, or you can answer the student directly. Then we have anonymous attendee again. Please, what's the application fee for university? Now in New Zealand, no university offer any scholarship.
Zero.
Please, agreed. And we do get this question very often because Canada charge application fee. So in New Zealand there is no application fee, and if somebody is charging, it'll be great to update someone that where the money is going there. We have covered Preet Singh from India. I've done MBA in 2014, and since then working in finance field. I gave IELTS general test for which course I can apply. Now, Kanwal, you can apply for a second master's if you wanted a PhD, but general IELTS may not be accepted. You may need to redo the IELTS into academic, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, you have to do IELTS academic, Kanwal Preet. Now, what I usually recommend for students who've already done a master's or already done an MBA, choose your master's in a different field. Related to your field, but something that you have not studied previously. So if you've done finance previously, you might want to look at professional accounting, or you might want to look at business analysis, because it's good to have a justification for why you want to do a second master's. It's good to be studying something that you have not already studied.
Great. Sorry, guys, we'll be running the questions sooner, because we still have another 20 questions to be answered, which is pretty good. I'm in class 12. What should I do next with regard to college admission? It'll be great if, Priyanka, you can put your email ID. Please contact Priyanka or send to hello@unique.com. We will help you out. There are a lot of options coming in.
Yeah, my advice is get in touch with one of us so that we can help you choose what bachelor's degree and what major you want to pursue, because there's a lot of choices out there. There might be certain majors and certain career paths that you're not actually aware of yet. So it really helps to talk it through with somebody who is experienced in that field and can guide you as per your interests and where you'd like to be in the future.
Great. Sahil, again, what are the employment options after the completion of Masters in International Relations? Again, Sahil, you're welcome to choose a course. There are some career opportunities given at uniqueway.com. I believe, Andrea, you're welcome to add. There are a lot of options because Victoria is based in Wellington, which is a political hub also.
Yeah, political capital. Yeah, so usually, Sahil, for entry into the Masters of International Relations, you would need to have studied either political science or international relations in your bachelor's degree. If you're thinking of the Masters of International Trade instead, which I'd mentioned previously with the automatic scholarship, that instead you can get into a background in either business or law. Employment options after the Masters of International Relations, usually you would be looking for a job either with an international organization or with a government department which deals with international issues. So some of our graduates go on to work for the United Nations or for trade and enterprise or, within the diplomatic sector alongside too. So that's the usual career outcomes that you're aiming for. If it's international trade, it would be with basically usually either a multinational company or with a government department which specializes in trade and exports.
Great. And I think we have a question for Niklesh. Mr. Narayan from India, and he has got a personal loan of 12 lakh and loan against property of 12 lakh. What are the chances if he apply for an education loan? Let's say I need unsecured loan.
Yes. Good question, actually. So, Narayan, to answer your question, first of all, yes, you are eligible. And of course, unsecured loan can also be provided to you. But it completely depends on the university that you're selecting. Okay, so based on your university, we do provide unsecured loans. So earlier, if you're saying that you have personal loan of 12 lakhs and loan against property of 12 lakhs, that's okay. So for that, we require a co-borrower as well. So in addition to you, who will be the applicant? So we require a co-applicant or co-borrower as well for the support, because already you have some loans. So we need to ensure that, those loans will also be, you will repay. And of course, the new loan that you are taking under education loan. The answer to some of that is yes, of course, we do provide, but we require a co-applicant as well in this case. Okay.
Great. Just to add, Narayan, the universities in New Zealand, again, they are range from, if I'm not wrong, 15 lakh to 15 lakh unsecured loans. So you need to see that which university you're applying, like what Niklesh said. Thank you, Niklesh. We have an anonymous attendee here. Do we require English proficiency test score for PhD admission? Yes, that is a mandatory requirement. Some cases it is 7 in each module and roll 7? Depend. It can be 6.5.
Yeah, usually
Andrea.
6.5. 7 we usually require for the programs that are leading to registration. So if you're doing a program that leads to teaching registration or nursing registration, it needs 7 in each band. If you're doing law usually needs a higher score, but for our overall PhD program, it's usually 6.5. That might depend on the university as well.
Agreed. We have what about masters in literature? I think I can go ahead, Andrea.
Yeah, it depends on what you want to do in literature. So we have a master's of creative writing where you can specialize either in novels or script writing. It's quite competitive to get into. So you need to show the project that you would like to work on during it, as well as some of your previous creative work. We also have a master's of arts in English literature. We also have a master's of communication, where you can study subjects related to literature. So there's a few different options there for you, depending on what you're interested in. And yeah, Bharat might have an idea of the other programs there.
Yes,
as well.
You're welcome to go to UniQuid. There are options. You just, like Andrea said, just if you're going to literature, if you want to go with the word literature, that's a separate thing. If you're going with the word of creative arts or creative writing or communication, there are multiple courses. So sometimes it's a bit kind of, if we go by the name of the course, it becomes difficult. So we got Amani. I'm not an Indian, but I'm in India studying my Bachelor of Commerce. Although I'm having my final exam of last semester, I would like to do my master's in finance.
Okay. Yes, Amani, you would be able to do a master's in finance. You could do a master's of commerce with a specialization in finance. You could do the master's of global business with a specialization in finance. It depends on whether you want to do a thesis in the master's of commerce or the more, you could say, the industry project and the master's of global business. You can apply after you finish your degree if you wish to, or sooner if you'd like a conditional offer.
Great. Priyanka, you were saying something. You want to add something? I thought you unmuted your mic. Do you want to add something here?
Oh, no, no, she did answer it, so that's fine. That's all right. So we'll move to the next question.
I believe there's a question from Syed. Yeah, Syed, we said, I think we've answered your question, but again, if
we have already answered that. Is mechanical engineering a lucrative?
Yeah, that was put down much earlier when we were still in the process.
Sure.
We've only just got to 12:45 in the question.
Sorry, guys. I didn't expect it. We have Renu from India again. You said there is a 20-hour part-time work period. Can we get a job in hospital as a part-time? Renu, yes, there are options. You can work in DHPs or hospitals and all while you're doing part-time. But again, I believe you were talking about anesthesia questions, if I'm not wrong. You can also go into the nursing side because there are some papers on that area you can go in, and which is in a green list. But do connect with Priyanka, and Priyanka, you're welcome to share your email ID there. Do you have a loans to Kenyan students? No, Charles, from not now. Again, Niklesh, I believe the answer remains the same. If you are online, you're on mute, Niklesh, if we can't hear you.
Yes, sorry, I'm muted.
The answer remains same. Even you are
again,
but if they're Niklesh, sorry, Niklesh, if they're in India, even still, if they're not Indian citizens, they will be still considered. They can't be considered if they are even staying in India. Okay. Sahil and I think, Syed, can I take your questions in the next round, because we just need to see that if somebody we have not answered yet. Is that okay, Andrea and Priyanka?
No, I think Syed had repeated the question, so that has already been answered. Those two. Okay, and same for coming down to Sahil.
Also, we have answered that question.
Great. Coming down to Sahil, can someone pursue masters in New Zealand with 3 years of gap after degree in civil engineering with marks with 69% marks? I believe yes. Till the time you are working and you are kind of doing something, you are not sitting at home. Just make sure that, or there should be a reasoning behind it. Is that correct?
Yeah. And in terms of the 69%, Sahil, every program has slightly different criteria at different universities. So we need to see your transcripts. We need to see if there's any backlogs, etc. But yeah, 69% is decent in terms of percentage for entry into masters.
Great. We have Mohammed Parvez from India. Is there any work
I
experience?
believe we answered that question with regards to
Yeah,
a
he was.
Master of Business.
Yeah, he was
Yes.
before too. Yes.
Harjinder Singh from India, paramedical courses available. Sir, yes, there are paramedical courses available. Andrea, I don't know Victoria offers any paramedical courses. I
Not
believe
for
it's
master.
Harjinder, for you to answer, options are available at AUT, Shivakanan, or you can go to multiple polytechnics also. We'll recommend to see what are right and are relevant to your kind of immigration policy. Again, Charles, Masters in Electrical Engineering.
I think we answered that
you
one
answered that
previously.
already.
Yeah.
We have Priya. I think we've answered that question. Applying for PG diploma would be better than a master's in education, considering a
Yeah.
job in the education sector. Now, Priya,
Yep.
just to give you a heads up, you have a bachelor degree. We'll recommend normally graduate diploma in early childhood or a teaching if you're going towards a registered teacher in New Zealand. Masters or PG diploma don't provide the teaching registration. Till the time they are not approved by Teaching Council of New Zealand. Now, again, you can be in touch with us or Priyanka, or even Andrea. We can guide you with the options there.
It depends on what
yeah.
you want to do, Priya. If you want to specialize in something like curriculum and pedagogy or educational leadership, or assisting students with learning disabilities, then the Masters of Education is the right choice for you. If you want to be a teacher in New Zealand, as Bharat said, you need to choose a program that leads to registration. Otherwise, even doing the Masters of Education, you can't work as a teacher afterwards with that qualification.
And we have seen a lot of students get into that trouble and they then change their kind of course from postgraduate or masters and they lose the money too. So we'll recommend not to do that. Now we have Jennifer from Nigeria. Jennifer is a doctor, want to do global health and policy masters in New Zealand, scholarship and migration criteria. Now again, Andrea can talk about the global health and policy masters, but just to update Jennifer, doctors or GP are in demand in New Zealand if you get the option to come here.
Yeah. So Jennifer or Chinello, one thing to be aware of is that these masters will not lead to your registration as a doctor. That's a separate process that you have to undertake. So if you are planning to study in New Zealand, your ultimate aim is to be a doctor there, it's good to have do some research on the Medical Council of New Zealand website, find out what are the exact requirements, what are the exams that you have to pass, just so that you're aware of what is your exact pathway to qualifying as a doctor in New Zealand post your masters. Now, we have Masters of Health, where you can do health leadership and management, health policy, planning and service delivery, or health promotion as your specializations within it. We also have Masters of Public Policy, where you can do specializations related to health policy. So we have a number of options at our university. Different universities also have public health masters as well. So do a bit of research, compare your options, but make sure if your ultimate aim is to be a doctor, that you're also completing research in that area as well, so you know exactly which requirements you have to meet.
Great. And again, Jennifer, I've just added the link to Medical Council of New Zealand to the chat box so that you can reach out to there if you want it. We have anonymous attendee. It's hard to get sponsored job of international students in New Zealand after masters in NZ itself. This question link again, if you ask me, whoever it is, I think it'll be great to have a bit more detail on the question. Sponsored job, go ahead, and you want to add something?
You don't need to be sponsored. When you finish your masters, you receive a 3-year work visa. That does not need to be sponsored by any employer. You can work for whoever you want during that time period in whatever job you want. Now, after that period, if you're looking at sponsorship, we can't provide advice on that. That falls into the realm of immigration advice. And it's also, these things are very subjective. It's case by case basis. It's what subject are you doing? What's your experience? What's your profile as that? So nobody can ever tell you, yes, you'll definitely get this, or no, you definitely won't get that. It's a very subjective thing. But post the masters, that 3-year work visa does not need to be sponsored. You don't need an employment offer to receive it.
And that's the best part. If you're going for 1.5 year to do your masters, getting a 3-year work ride, you're actually there for 5 years. And I believe somebody there for 5 years is good enough to get a job if you're there for 5 years, just to give you a heads up. And always say, look for a job, while you have got a 3-year work right, and that's where the how things work in. Going to Emmanuel, pharmacy student and undergraduate in India. I want to do my master program in public health. Is it possible that I can be accepted for a scholarship program after getting my BSc? There are options again, Emmanuel, but again, depend upon what will be your grade in BSc, what is GPA, and how you're looking in. Is that correct, Andrea? Or anything you want to add here?
Yeah, it's based on your overall profile, Emmanuel. So scholarships will always depend on academic merit, but just keep in mind that they're not fully funded scholarships.
Great. I think Sahil have a question. Then, do you have to be vaccinated or unvaccinated? Yes, you have to be
Yes.
vaccinated. Double vaccinated is mandatory. Just to give you a heads
Sahil,
up.
why are you not double vaccinated yet after this long of COVID? Can you please go out and protect yourself?
Yeah, totally great.
But-
And yeah.
Yes, you do need to be. You don't
This
need
is
to
a
have had the
mandatory.
booster. That's not mandatory, but you do need to be double vaccinated.
Yeah, New Zealand 80% population is boosted also, just to give you a heads up, guys. Ritu, in India, can you please tell me about accommodation expense and other expenses while applying master course? Ritu, that will be great to touch base with Priyanka, or again, Andrea's email ID is there, Priyanka's email ID is there. Or if you go to Unique website, there are options there which you can be answered on. Prince John, I do have Masters of Chemistry in India. Which course should I opt for? Great. Andrea, do you want to answer or should I take it?
So, Prince, my opinion would be it depends on what you want to do after your course. If you're interested in research and you had a research component in your Masters of Chemistry, it's good to opt for PhD. If you want to do something that's quite practical, we have a Masters of Drug Discovery and Development, fantastic program. You'll be spending more time in the laboratory than you are in the classroom. So if you do want to go, if you're interested in organic chemistry, biochemistry, and that's the area you want to go in, that's also an option. If you're interested in, material science like physics and chemistry, that's another field. So chemistry is a very large field. It depends on what area of chemistry you specialize in. It depends on what your goals are after your qualification. But PhD is one area. For us, Masters of Drug Discovery and Development is another area you can look at. Other universities may have even more options that you can do post Masters of Chemistry.
Great. So what I've done, Prince, for you, I've added a list of courses of chemistry or relevant to chemistry available on uniqueway.com. We have just mentioned you. If for New Zealand, there are I've just added masters, and there are 48 programs available relevant to chemistry or options. But again, do look into the website. We've done that. We've got Emmanuel, which question have we not answered? We don't know yet. You're welcome to put
I'm
it again.
sorry, Emmanuel. Right. I don't see your question anywhere. I just went through all the questions. In case if you feel that we have not answered, please write an email to me. I can answer the question.
No.
Yeah.
Emmanuel was one of the anonymous attendees. We just answered his a few minutes back.
Okay.
All right. Perfect.
Great.
Thank you.
So I think we are finished and done with the questions because chemistry was the last question from Prince. What are the possibilities for me? We have done that. Great. I think that's a pretty good number of questions. I think thank you, Andrea, for supporting. I think we were supposed to do in a 1 hour. We have good. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Niklesh. Thank you, Priyanka. Any last minute words or anything you want to add, you're welcome. Otherwise, we'll finish the webinar, wrap up in next 1 minute. And everyone, you will be getting the recording of the webinar plus the presentation from Niklesh and Andrea on everyone who registered for the webinar or who joined the webinar. So great having you here. Anything to be added, Andrea or Niklesh, from your end?
So from my end, I just request all the students to go through the UniqueWay website because there are a lot of things coming in from the financial perspective as well. I hope the same with the university as well. But we are coming up with a lot of customized solution to all of you. Please be, visiting UniqueWay website. You'll definitely see a very good things coming in from our end as well, from ICICI.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you,
My
Niklesh.
advice to the students is do your research before you choose your course, your university, your country. UniqueWay can be a really great way to do that research in terms of comparing the courses, seeing what the options are. Do your research in terms of career opportunities where you're planning to study. Do your research in terms of registration, if that's, just make sure that you're fully prepared, you know what you want. And then you go ahead with your application process. And we're always there and happy to provide advice as well.
And again, if I believe you don't want to take a question here, we have one last question coming from Raj Kaur. I've done BSc Medical, Bachelor Education, Master Chemistry. Can I do for Master of Education? Yes, Raj.
Yes.
Yes, you've
Yes.
done multiple options. Education would be a good option. Yes. Do touch base. Is a Master of Education you're looking at, or you're looking for a graduate diploma in education?
Yeah.
Depend upon, are you looking for registration as a teacher? We are happy to help you on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Thank
you would be
Andrea, for this.
eligible. Yeah, you'd be eligible for the Masters of Education basis your Bachelors of Education. But if you want to be a teacher, as Bharat said, make sure that you choose one of the teaching qualifications. Definitely science teachers at secondary level are very much in demand in New Zealand. So that's a good area that you can explore.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. We will see, we'll have another webinar coming on next weekend, which is Saturday, with Unitec, which is one of the largest polytechnic in New Zealand. And we have the next Australian series starting from 5th of August. We have experts coming from admissions office of Australian universities. So great. Look forward to meeting you all. Thank you very much, Niklesh. Again, thank you, Andrea, for giving a bit of extra time, what was needed, but appreciate for support. Great. Thank you, Niklesh. Thank you, Priyanka. Have a good time and have a good
Thanks a lot.
day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.